Are you an investigative professional? Have you heard about the investigatorstoolbox.com? Check out this exclusive online community for networking, learning, and data resource management. The Toolbox is a one-stop shop for all your investigative needs. Check out our robust collection of forums, our comprehensive learning page, and our expansive library of OSINT research tools. We've just released an app for both iOS and Android, so you can access the site seamlessly right off your phone. We have also partnered with some amazing companies like CROSStrax, Delphoint, IRB, ScopeNow, the Hetherington Group, PI Magazine, PI Gear, Merlin Locate Services, Parabin, the PI Institute of Education, and so many more. They're offering over $1,250 worth of discounts and benefits exclusively to community members today. Use code PIP201836 and save 10% on your membership. That's www.investigators-toolbox.com.
CROSStrax Case Management System. That is what we are talking about today. Are you using a case management system? What are you waiting for? If you don't use a case management system, you really need to look into implementing that into your business regimen. I've been at it with CROSStrax now a little over a year, and it's just been a game changer for my business. They are SOC 2 certified, SOC 2 Type 2 certified. If you don't know what that means, it means that their encryption system is second to none, and you have to go through a whole screening process to figure out if you can even qualify for that, and they have. So you know with certainty your data is being protected. I don't think there's another case management system out there that offers that same ability to have the SOC 2 Type 2 certification. As you guys know, I've been singing the praises of CROSStrax, and I really believe in this product, and I believe you should check it out. Contact Brad, contact Pat, one of the team members over there, and see if it's right for you. CROSStrax Case Management System, check it out today.
Well, we're less than 2 weeks away from the NALI conference in San Antonio, Texas. It's not too late to register, you know. You don't want to miss this great lineup. Get more info today at nali.com. Did you know that NALI conference attendees can register for Investigators Toolbox and save $65 off the subscription price? Wow. Just register and use code NALIPRECON21. And you'll need to show proof of conference registration. And welcome to PI Perspectives. Today we're checking in with one of our longtime sponsors. We're chatting with Patrick Andrews from CROSStrax. We're going to hear about their latest features, and we're going to dispel some myths about using case management software. So stick around to the end. If you're a member of Investigators Toolbox, Pat has a great offer for you to save at least $90. Now let's jump in with the guys. Please welcome CROSStrax Patrick Andrews and your host, private investigator Matt Spare.
PI Perspectives.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of PI Perspectives. This is Matt Spare, your host. Today, we are welcoming one of our sponsors, one of our major sponsors from the beginning. Every now and then, I like to have some of the sponsors come on and just chat and give us an update as to what they're doing and what's going on. So today, I am honored and very happy to welcome Patrick Andrews from CROSStrax to the program. Patrick, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Matt?
Doing great. So you're out of Destin, Florida. And yes. What's life like down in Destin these days?
Sunshine and beaches, kind of like how it's always been, honestly. It's not bad.
Fantastic. We are going through like a major heat wave here. So it's kind of like Destin a little bit. You know, we're in the 90s. It's muggy, no beach, but it's definitely pool weather. But welcome to New York. We're very schizophrenic when it comes to our weather. So the last time we heard from you was a while ago. We had done just a little snippet, I think, at the end of the year on SOC 2 certification, and I wanted to end around and really cover that a little bit more in detail today, and also some of the other things that's going on with the CROSStrax, and just talk about my experience actually on message boards with people that ask about case management systems and some of the questions and answers and stuff that's going out there. So why don't we dive into it? Why don't we just familiarize everybody with regards to SOC 2 certification? What exactly is it?
Yes. Everybody, when I first heard about SOC 2 Type 2 certification, I thought, oh, I'll Google it and find it out. Well, when you do, it does explain it. It's still a little complicated. So pretty much what it is, it's a data security designation that is given to companies who go through it's a 3.5 month process of a third party company auditing your system.
Right.
So they're penetration testing, they're checking firewalls, they're making sure your data is encrypted, they're checking certain policies that you have in place in case there's a disaster or some type of hacking going on.
Right.
So once that process is complete, this third party firm either detects whether or not your system's certified or it isn't.
Right.
And to sum it up, I mean, everybody uses cloud-based servers to store their data. So we at CROSStrax use Amazon Web Services, just like 90% of the industry. And the data, when it's in our cloud-based servers, is encrypted. When it's in transit to our software, it's encrypted. When it's on our software, it's encrypted and back to our cloud-based servers. So it's around-the-clock encryption.
Gotcha. So I don't know if people realize, but the importance of having something like this as a selling tool, right? When you have a meeting for your attorney clients or even your insurance carriers, which some of them actually require you to have this kind of certification. Like they won't even give you business unless you can show them that you're taking it very seriously as to how you're storing your data and protecting things. I think you guys are the only ones out there doing this. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. And let's not name drop anybody else, but
no, absolutely. From my understanding, we're one of the few, if not the only one, that have actually gone out and got our software certified. You might have some companies who say they're certified, but in reality, it might just be their cloud-based servers. So anybody out there listening, always double check, ask whatever case management system, ask for the report on their company, the SOC 2 Type 2 report. Yeah. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head that a lot more companies are looking for this designation. Yeah. I'd say 8 to 10 years ago, when I was still working in the investigation industry, it wasn't as big of a deal. It'd be a big deal for those giant companies, but it wasn't as big of a deal. Now, whether or not you're in the RFP process with a certain insurance company or a certain security company, I mean, it's a requirement on a lot of them. And this selling tool, especially with local government entities, maybe city of New York, or doing something for, most likely they're going to want this designation. Yeah. So at CROSStrax, what we've done is, because we have this official report, any of our users who is talking to a client, going through the RFP process, if they need the report, we have it. We'll send it on over to you.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and you think about it, like if you have to testify in court, this just adds credibility, right? How is your data stored? How's what are you doing on your end to make sure that nothing's been tampered with, right? Chain of custody, it's a real deal in our industry, right? We need to be able to show proof that there was no tampering going on, or the integrity of whatever's in there has been protected, right? These are all selling points, not only to your attorneys that you're trying to get business from, but also to jurors. Like, hey, this is the real. This is what we have here. So, to me, when I first found out you guys were doing it, I obviously had no idea what that was about. Oh, great, SOC 2, right? But the more you learn about it, it's like, okay, this is really, really important, and it gives you an edge. It really does. So when folks say, like, why do I need a case management system? I can just use Excel sheets, and things like that. Well, yeah, you can, but are you really being efficient? Are you really doing it? And I think a lot of folks make that mistake. They don't realize really how inexpensive it is to have a case management system, and how you can actually build it into your pricing to offset whatever cost you have. It's really a no-brainer when you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are some people out there who use Excel sheets and they're efficient at it and they want to keep doing that. But those same people, they want to grow their business. And as you grow your business, you want to get a little bit bigger clients. And like you'll get to a point where some clients say, okay, well, where do you hold our data? I mean, if you tell them, yeah, I do everything on Microsoft Excel and Outlook and Dropbox, I mean, that's not going to be a great answer for them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is our product, and even others, it's inexpensive compared to what the outcome's going to be. I mean, our entry plan's $35 a month, but it's like you said, everything's stored in there. You don't have to have anything stored outside of the system. Now, I mean, people do have backups, and I always encourage backing up your data because, I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Life happens,
but
yes.
Yeah, but everything is stored on the case management software. If you put everything in there, you're not going to lose anything. But if you're working in Excel, you're working in Word, you're working out of your file explorer on your computer, Google Suite, I mean, 5-6 different places where you store information. I mean, it's just something's bound to get lost.
Yeah. Or you forget to save something, right?
Exactly.
Or you know, now your computer crashes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to restore it, and you got to go back to 2 weeks prior.
Yep.
Because that's the point of when your computer got infected,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now you've just lost 2 weeks worth of data. So like that's all real. That stuff happens. And even if let's say you use Dropbox, or let's say you use Google Drive, doesn't mean your clients do. I have some clients that they hate Dropbox. I have others that hate Google Drive, and they're like, I don't want to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
You need to give me, what I need in the way that I like it. It's like, okay, well, if you had a portal where you could just go and download everything, does that make sense? Where you don't need either one of them? It's like, yes, that totally makes sense. And even when you get that, email like, oh, I can't find the invoices, right? Like we've settled the case. I'm doing, expenses now. And can you send me all the invoices you have on this case? How about I send you a link to the portal and you go download everything yourself because it's there already. So, having the ability to do that is pretty awesome.
Yep. And I mean, like I said, within our system, like you like Dropbox, our system essentially works like Dropbox because I haven't used Dropbox in a while, but it's essentially sending links for a video or for an audio. I mean, you upload the video into the case file. We have links that you can send to the client, and that link that you send to the client is also going to be logged as a case note. Yeah. So, I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to change from what they've been doing in the past, but there's new stuff out there, just like our product, makes everything more efficient.
Yeah, it only took me 14 years to try a case management system out. Just 14. I'm stubborn.
Hey, you took that step. You took that step.
I really did, and it was a step. Being a control freak, which I think most small business owners are, right? We want to keep our hands on everything and really understand where everything is and the flow of everything. It was a big step for me. And one of the things with COVID was, I was able to really roll everything over into it. I had the extra time to take to move every open file I had into CROSStrax. And now it's like, I don't know how I could live without it. Just the way we implement everything and the way things are done. And I love that the case notes section where you can just go back and you can see the life of your case, right? When the assignment came in, what was done, when it was done, further instructions from your clients, which they have the ability to interject and put notes in. So if they're giving you further instructions and things like that, go in and do that. You can, and you can control what they see and how much they can actually see or when they see it too, which is really nice. Like, case is done, but it's not done. Like, I get to proof it first, right?
Yeah. I think if I could relay one thing to a lot of new users, because a lot of people are skeptical about starting to use a case management software. I think a lot of people go into it thinking, oh, well, I have to change my whole workflow. But I encourage people not to think that way, because especially like our system, we have so many different options that you can customize. Your workflow can stay the same. Just use it within CROSStrax, so everything's stored, everything's organized, and everything, your workflow is the same, if not more efficient.
Right.
So a lot of people I talk to, especially during their trial days, that's the first thing they say. It's like, well, I don't want to change my whole everything I do day to day. It's like, you don't have to. Yeah. Like, the only thing that's going to change is, instead of having Dropbox, Outlook, Word, Excel all open, you just have to have one tab open. Right. So that's what I try to kind of get over to, especially the new users.
Yeah. And if you manage a team of investigators, it's a great tool, because you really can stay on top of progress, and you don't have to sit there and shoot, what about this case? What about that case? What about this case? Like I either just go in and see where they're at and shoot instructions to people, or maybe I'll have a phone call with that particular investigator. Let's go through your caseload, and we go one by one and fill in notes, and I give further instructions. It's like, I'll give them instructions on what to do, but then I'll also put a case note in there. So when they forget what I told them to do, they can go in and see, and like, oh, yeah, right, that's right, I need to do this on this case, right? So that's something that I think is really, really neat too. And just, the platform. And I test drove some of the other case management systems out there before. I signed up with you guys. Your dashboard is amazing. It really is so easy to get around. And, customer service wise, if there's a question, I've never not had something answered in a quick fashion. Like, oh, I forgot how to do this. Okay, let me show you how to do it. So it's worked out well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, those questions, whether it's a support ticket or you send me an email or I get a quick call, I mean, we're more than happy to help out as soon as possible. So, yeah. So, the other thing is, I do see this stuff all the time on message boards like Facebook groups for investigators and things like that. You get the question out there like, oh, I'm looking for a new case management system, right? And then you got, folks like me, and there's probably like 10 other ones that are like CROSStrax, right? You got to do it. But then you have the naysayers that go on there, not necessarily your product, but the idea of a case management system. They're just not there. And to me, it's like, I really don't understand it. I don't understand why people would push back on it and not see the advantage of it. It just makes you look more professional, right? Yeah, I mean, it's like you said. I mean, just speaking about the dashboard, it's cleaner. Mm-hmm. Everything is in one spot. It's separated by each case. And it's not like you're on your computer looking at folders and you're searching through looking for that one claimant or subject name to find all those files. And the thing about it is, I mean, we do have a client portal in CROSStrax. Yeah. So, I mean, if you give access to your clients, which you don't have to, but if you do, they'll be able to go in and see what you're using. It's like you said, it's clean cut. You can have your business logo in there. You can change the colors to whatever you want. Right. And I mean, I can't stress it enough. It's just more efficient. Yeah. And I mean, you can have the most organized person in the world working out of 5 different programs, but I mean, it's still not going to be the same as using a case management software.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And what a great selling tool that is too. Like when I'm going on new meetings, recently I did there was a CLE for attorneys, and I got invited to, take 5 minutes and tell us about your business. Right. So here I am, I'm giving my pitch, and I'm just, talking about case management systems and things like that. And the feedback that I got from the attorneys, and there were like 100 attorneys that were doing this webinar, and man, I got a bunch of phone calls, and I'm talking to them, and like, wow, you have case management, like we could do this, like that's amazing. I was like, yes, it's the same thing as your Saga, your Select or I forget what it's called, something Select Acid or something. The attorneys have similar case management stuff, so they understand.
I think one I've heard of is Clio. I think that's Clio. One I've heard of before.
Yeah, Clio's one. Smart Advocate is another, and Saga is I think those are like the 3 big ones. And I've had my attorney clients like have me on Clio. Like I know Clio. Clio is one of my clients uses it, right? So it's like it's very similar. So the whole process of them
having to go into a portal, like they understand it because they're using it themselves for their own cases.
Yep.
Which is pretty neat. So you don't really have to hard sell them. I think I had one guy who like complains like, now I got to log in and do this, and he's been a client of mine for like 15 years. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like you're literally the only one who's bitching and complaining.
I always tell users, I was like, you can have 100 clients, 99 of them are just efficient on a computer. You're going to have one that types in their password and it's incorrect and they're going to say the software is broken, but that's 1 out of 100. I don't worry about that. I'm more than happy to help them out. So
yeah. You know what else is funny too? So I do a lot of work with Mike Doris, Merlin Locate, right? They do a lot of my third party searches. Like if my team is struggling on something, I get Mike and his team to work on it. And now I'm using the customer portal for CROSStrax.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So I have 2 separate setups, one for my own business and one for Mike. And it's interesting to see how he tailored and set things up because it's a little different than the way I have things set up, but it works. I'm like, I understand. I get it.
and also, I mean, the great thing about the customer portal is we take out like 80% of everything to where the customer only sees the files that they are assigned to that are open. Correct. So it's very simple. I mean, but that's great. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I am not
working both sides of the track.
User,
huh?
I am also a client. Yes. So
that's great.
I'm an official spokesperson.
Awesome. Glad to hear it.
Very cool. So speaking of sponsors and things like that, we're going to take a break real quick. And when we come back, I just want to dive a little more into some of the new things that are available on CROSStrax and just get an overview of forecast maybe of where you see the industry going in this next year or so as everybody decides, let's go back to work again.
Yeah.
Let's see where it goes. So everybody sit tight and we will be right back.
Delft Point keeps on advancing. The commonality search is here. The new data is unlike anything they currently offer and will go in depth into your target's assets and relationships. Use them on everything from jury research and associate connections to business investigations and fraud cases. You don't want to miss these. Visit delftpoint.com for more details. Sign up and use code PIP20 for additional savings. Are you overwhelmed with your current caseload? Could you use some help with your skip trace assignments? With Merlin Locate Services, rather than adding staff, you can add an entire skip trace department of licensed private investigators who specialize in skip tracing. Check out merlinlocate.com today. When you work with Merlin Locate Services, you bring on a valuable experience and trusted extension to your team. Check out the latest issue of PI Magazine. Bob Macwiak graces the cover, and there's a great article on how the magazine was started. Read it today.
And welcome back to this week's episode of PI Perspectives. We're here with Patrick Andrews from CROSStrax. Patrick, I want to welcome you back to the program.
Yep, glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. I love having you guys every now and then, just because I like to know that the companies I'm doing business with are always like trying to make themselves better. And it's one of the things that I can say, you guys constantly doing that, man. It's so cool to hear the ideas.
Yeah, I mean, consistently, day in, day out, we have our weekly development meetings, and every time, we're never really content with where we're at. We're just trying to see like, okay, what can we do next? And I will say, we got some things kind of coming up. I'd say probably towards the end of the year, some new integrations,
right?
That I think people will be excited about, and then even new things that we started at the beginning of the year. So,
all right, we'll have to have you come back on when you're ready to make that big announcement.
Absolutely.
We obviously want to get the word out on that stuff, but let's talk about what's been implemented in the past year. Because maybe folks are not aware of some of the new cool things that you can do. So let's talk about the integration stuff.
Yeah. So what we added, it was the beginning of March, I believe, end of February. We added an integration with Irb Search. So we already have Delft Point. people who are familiar with that. And then a lot more people are familiar with IRB Search. It's been around for a long time. It works the same way as Delve Point does. So the IRB Search interface, if you click the tab inside a specific case file, say you open a case file for John Smith, and if you integrated your IRB Search account inside CROSStrax, you'll be able to run whether it's your I don't know, vehicle searches or license searches, bankruptcies, whatever it might be. You'll be able to run those searches in the IRB Search tab in CROSStrax.
Right.
There are some people, when I bring up like integrations like this, whether it's this or Delve Point, that are like, oh, well, what else does it do? So all it does is I search inside there. And I just let them know it does seem like a simple like option, but at the same time, it's just we go back to all the information is stored in one place. And because our system is SOC 2 Type 2 certified, I mean, that's the most, you look at it, it's the most efficient way to run your searches. And you'll be able to run those searches and have those reports uploaded right into the Documents tab. So,
and now you're under that web of the protection of encryption. I mean, to me, that's kind of genius. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That you're able to do it. So there's definitely a benefit to it. And, if you do use one of those companies, you're also benefiting from, the new searches that they have and the new things that they're doing. Right.
Absolutely.
Which is neat. Those are both great companies. I mean, all the companies that are integrated, I do business with all of them. And, they're all good at certain things. There's no just have one and it's the only one. Even with IRB and Delve Point, same parent company, and people say, oh, it's just the same data resold. The dashboard's different. That is so far from the truth. Like really, like
I've heard that too. And I just tell people, I said, listen, if it was the same search, they wouldn't have spent the money to start another or own another business.
What type of business model is that?
Yeah, it doesn't. So it is different. I mean, they're IRB Search is the parent company, and they're great people. I'm glad we're partnered with them, and I'm glad we can do business with them. But they are different, yes. Yeah,
that's it. It's all good stuff. So Scope Now was another one too that you guys are integrated with, right?
Yes, we've partnered with Scope Now for a while now. It's a social media search engine, and I tell users it's one of those things. I mean, it's 2021. Everybody's sticking the phone right in front of their face. They're recording, they're posting, they're geotagging. And I remember years ago when I was a desktop investigator and a true deep internet mining investigation, I mean, it can take anywhere from 3 to 4 man hours. And what Scope Now does, and it's so great, and their algorithm's so awesome, it honestly takes away about 3 hours of work. It takes you right to the profiles. And from there, all you have to do is just look at the details of those profiles. And I mean, it's like I said, it's a tool that you can't underestimate, because everybody uses social media.
Yeah. And, one of the other cool things is their team over there. They give out killer webinars, man.
Yeah.
Like every couple months they're coming out and they're like, let's talk about the latest trends on TikTok. Let's talk about Clubhouse. Let's talk about if there's a new thing, if there's a shiny new toy out there, these guys are tinkering around and they're finding out a way to gather data, which is amazing. Very, very cool. If you don't use Scope Now or IRB or Delve Point, I mean, I encourage you to check all those out and make a decision of what's right for you and all that. So, talking about webinars and training, that's the other thing that you guys do, which, I think is really, really beneficial, that you want to make sure that your customers understand everything that they can do, because it is overwhelming at times when you just jump into CROSStrax and you're like, where do I begin? And, you don't realize that you can do certain things, and you have these webinars and these trainings, and it's like, oh, I can do that. Yes, you can do that. This is how you do it. And we'll show you how to do it. So you guys, you make an effort too, to educate
And that's taking an interest in your clients, right? Making sure they're seeing the value and getting the most out of what they can do with the system, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I talk to users, and when you first, like you said, when you first log in, there's a lot going on in CROSStrax. Some users find it cumbersome, but I tell users, like in an introduction email, I usually send them links to 3 things on creating your case types, services, and subject types. But I try to let users know you don't have to use everything inside CROSStrax.
Right.
Just find out what you need, and that's what you should do, and then branch off from that. And through these webinars, I really try to focus on what everyday user is going to want to do. Well, they're going to want to create a report template because they're going to want something custom for them. They're going to want their business logo on it. 2 that we did in the past month and a half, going over the settings. That's another thing I advise people to do. If you go inside the settings and just go through each of them, and if you understand one, great. If you don't, shoot me an email. I'll tell you what it is. But if you understand, like right when you start off, 50% of those settings, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, webinars, anybody out there, please, I'm open for suggestions, and we're looking to do like over the summer 2 a month. So
yeah. No, it's great to be able to do that and be able to, get recordings of it. So I can go back and reference it, like, oh yeah, this is how you do it. Forgot, or I didn't have a chance to watch it. Let me watch it. Or like, for instance, you guys did something on billing, and I go to my operations manager. You need to watch this. And please make sure we're doing everything that we possibly could do on this stuff. So that's the forward type thinking that the people that I want to do business with, folks that understand how to service their clients, and it's been an amazing ride. I really appreciate the stuff that you guys do. So like, as far as you talked about the one integration that you guys are working on right now for the end of the year, but where do you see this industry going in the next 6 to 12 months on your end, and things that you see on the horizon?
Well, everything's been opening up at a slower pace. Of course, you have some states that are going to be wide open. I do see a lot more people opting to work remote, which might lead into kind of certain struggles in certain areas of investigations, such as meeting with a witness to take a statement or what it might be. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. But I do see a lot of investigators, especially with us, investigators who talked to us at the beginning of the pandemic, who said, hey, is there any chance you could put my account on hold? And now they're back, they're rolling. Sure. So we're really excited about that. Some things I encourage users, inside CROSStrax, we have a couple other integrations. We have CTX Vision and CTX eSign. So yeah, we kind of created those at the beginning of the pandemic, and we did it for the pandemic. So CTX Vision is an integration with Zoom. That way you can set up a recorded virtual interview with date and timestamp with whether it's a witness, a subject, whoever, and you'll be able to conduct that interview inside CROSStrax. And once you're done, you're going to get a video copy and an audio copy. Mm-hmm. And then CTX eSign is integration we have with Evernote, which essentially you upload your document, place where you want the signatures of the recipient to go. You send it through CROSStrax, and once it's done, it goes right into your documents tab. Yeah. So those are a couple simple things that we've done. Even after the pandemic's over, I mean, you can still utilize that, and instead of driving an hour to the witness's house or whatever it might be. And I think it might go in that direction, because whether it's you're reading the news or looking on Twitter, I think after this pandemic, a lot more people are going to be hesitant about meeting with strangers for whatever it might be. Yeah. So, I mean, if you have to take a witness's statement, I mean, they're not technically inclined to answer your questions. I think they might be more inclined if they do it in the comfort of their own home in front of a computer or in front of a phone.
Absolutely. There's definitely some comfort level to it. And I think there's going to be some sort of a hybrid going forward with that. So you've got all these businesses that they're all contemplating, are we 5 days a week now, or 2 days a week, 3 days a week?
Mm-hmm.
What is that going to look like? I know some of the big financials are like, no, we're 5 days a week. We're going back to the way it was, but not everybody is like that. And you're going to find more and more people that are at home. A couple of things here, right? So the CTX vision and the eSign stuff. So another great point of how everything ends up in this SOC 2 certified environment. It's living there, right? So you're protecting the integrity of that work that you're doing, which, investigative work product, but not really. It's actually, this is stuff that's going to end up getting exchanged. And there'll be some questions as to, was anything manipulated, or how was it stored, and all this other stuff. And these are easy questions to ask, and it makes you look better when you're being questioned, that you have this huge encryption system that this stuff was stored in. I would think an attorney wouldn't like that answer if they were cross-examining you.
Yeah.
That would be my guess, right? And the other thing is, the ability to take witness statements on electronically is a game changer. The ability to notarize something is a game changer. They keep extending it in New York. It's extended now to, I think, the 24th of June. I don't know if that's going to continue. I think the attorneys are really advocating for that to actually stick around, which is good and bad for us as investigators, because, if you do sign up work, you do things like that, like my sign up business. And when I say sign up, I mean, somebody had an accident, they hired an attorney, now we're going to meet with them. Definitely is curtailed. Absolutely 100%, because why should I send the investigator out when I can just email these documents to somebody, they can sign them and get them back to me, right?
Yeah.
Without a question, it has hurt that business. Now, sometimes I get people that can't figure it out. Like, they're just not, like, I don't know how to do DocuSign or anything like that. It's like, okay, just send the investigator. Or sometimes they just want us there personally as a kid's glove type of thing. But in a question of expediency, right? Being able to get something done quickly, that is a way to do things. And even it's a selling tool when you're interviewing somebody for a witness, right? Am I going to have to go in and testify about this? I don't want to take a day off from work. And I'm like, hey man, like, everyone's doing depositions on Zoom now. Like, there's a really good chance that you don't even have to leave your home. Like, you can get this lickety split in maybe an hour, 2 hours, you're done and you go on to work. So, these are all selling points in trying to convince somebody to do things or sign things. So you guys being, having the vision to incorporate something early on. And I remember having conversations with your dad about it when it was all going through, that you guys were working on that. I was like, wow, that's exciting, right? So just having the vision to see that this is going to be something that's going to stick around for a while. Why don't we hop on the train here and just one more thing to integrate into our system? Like, I'd love that, man. I love the R&D that you guys have.
Yeah, like I said, just going back to, I mean, we're always trying to get better. We're never really content with what we have.
Right.
We have a great product, but everything can always be improved,
Right. Well, that's great. So, okay, we're going to wind down here. Patrick, how do folks get a hold of you if they're had any questions or wanted to check out CROSStrax?
Yeah, absolutely. So my direct email, anybody can email me. I'm open to speaking with anyone, is patrick@CROSStrax, CROSSTRAX.co. Right. And that's just CO, not COM. Also, I encourage people to go to CROSStrax.co, our website. From there, you can literally go check out our blogs. You can see all of the different integrations we offer. You can sign up for a free 7-day trial in the top right.
Right.
I encourage people to do that. I mean, you can listen to your friend who says, yeah, CROSStrax is the best case management software, but I mean, just check it out. 7 days, see if it works for you. I believe that it works for just about everybody, but I'd say I'm a little biased. And but yeah.
So I'm going to sidetrack it just a little bit here and kind of tag on to that if there's anybody out there that's listening to this that is a member of the Investigators Toolbox, CROSStrax is a big time partner and sponsor with Investigators Toolbox. And one of the discounts and benefits you guys are offering to our members of the Investigators Toolbox is 2 free months. So let's say that you're on the basic plan that you guys offer with $35 a month. That's $70 right there you're getting back in your pocket, which is amazing. You guys are very generous on that. So if you're listening and you're a member of Investigators Toolbox and you are not using a case management system, please click activate discount and get in touch with these guys. Or if you're using another software company and you're not in love with it, or you're up to try something or check it out, please contact them, because you can integrate very easily, right? Someone else's system.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the capabilities of importing open cases, clients' contacts, stuff like that. Yeah. So, and yeah, like you said, anybody that's coming from Investigators Toolbox, we would be more than happy to give you a free second and third month. Just let us know upon signing up. Wow. And we'll get you taken care of.
Wow, you guys are amazing. That's a lot of money. That's like almost a membership for the year, folks. Like, so if you haven't joined Investigators Toolbox, you want to join, because you're going to get your money back by just up with CROSStrax. That's amazing. I feel like that guy, like, but wait, there's more, right? The Tony, I've got the rookie card, right? Mark McGuire rookie card.
Exactly.
I feel like that dude.
Oh gosh.
Be dialing, people. Be dialing.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Pat. Thank you so much, man. This is great. Again, thanks for the check-in. It's always exciting to hear what you guys are up to, and I always get fired up after we have these chats, because I know I line myself up with the right case management system. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always. I mean, it's always great talking to you, having a conversation with you, and I mean, we fully support the Investigators Toolbox. It's a great product, and we're happy to help out.
Yeah, that's great. It's great having you guys on. So the contact information will be in the show notes on how to get a hold of Patrick, and a link to try the CROSStrax out and all that. So we're going to wind in here. So thank you, everybody, for checking out this episode, and we'll be back next week with the next episode. Have a good one, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed the show, and can you believe CROSStrax is offering a 3rd free month to Toolbox members? That's amazing. So what are you waiting for? Go try out this great site today. Also, don't forget the great offer for NALI conference attendees to save $65 to join Investigators Toolbox. There's some great deals out there these days. We want to thank NALI, CROSStrax, Merlin Locate, and Delve Point for sponsoring the show, so please support these great sponsors. And don't forget, the Investigators Toolbox is now available as an app on iOS and Android platforms, and you'll be able to see the whole site right from your smartphone. And there's no better time than today to sign up for the site. At 49 cents a day, you can take advantage of the great networking, training, and data resource management it offers. Use code PIP201836 to save $20. And if you have a question or comment about the show, just email Matt at matthews@satellitepi.com. And you can also find him on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. He'd like your feedback to bring you the best shows possible. And we'll be back on Monday with a new show, so make sure you tune in and stay safe out there.